please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Very good afternoon. Welcome to Your Stocks. I'm Nigel D'Souza. With me is Ekta Batra. Well, it's not going well actually for the bulls today. You know, the second half of trade is not started off on a good note. In fact, we're virtually at the low point of the day. Only 300 stocks are advancing on the NSE, so keep an eye out on that front. The crisscross lines as well should come up for you. And for this week itself, now we are trading in negative territory. And all the other global markets, they're trading with gains of around 4 to around 6%. Telling you the stark underperformance that we're seeing. Hey, Ekta, you're not looking too good as well. A bit under the weather. I think you have a couple of days to take care of yourself. But the bulls, they're going home a bit bruised as well.
Yes, absolutely. I think the markets, along with me, have caught a cold. So the Nifty is definitely down around 0.8%. And like you mentioned, it's been a clear underperformance as compared to the globe as well. Currently, it seems as though the real culprit for today's trading session has to be the Bank Nifty constituents as well, which is weighing in terms of the Nifty pressure that we're seeing. And the mid-cap index is going home in the red for the week as well. And it had been absolutely flat at for most of the week as compared to the Nifty. So there has been an underperformance for the mid-cap index as well on a week-to-date basis as compared to the frontline indices. And you can see that very starkly in terms of the advanced decline ratio. If you just look at it, only around 300 poultry stocks advancing to around 1,771 stocks declining on the National Stock Exchange. So that gives you a kind of sense in terms of the behavior of the markets at this point in time. But let's take you through all of the top stories that we're tracking this afternoon, and then we're going to get answering all of your queries as well, considering the kind of volatility that we've seen in the market. We're tracking this afternoon, but we have a lady special on Your Stocks every Friday. So today we will be answering all of our female queries or participants coming in with queries. So in any case, we have Ashu Madan who's joining in on the fundamentals, and we have Prakash Gaba to answer all of your technical queries this afternoon. So let's get going in terms of the first question that we have. And firstly, afternoon Prakash as well as Ashu. Bhavi Kapadia calls us from Mumbai with a question. She has investments in Tata Chemicals. Hi Bhavi.
Hello, Ekta.
Hi.
I have about 12,000 Tata Chemicals, costing 774.
Okay.
And I can hold it up to a year. Can you please help me with this?
All right. You can hold it up to a year. What other stocks do you have in terms of your portfolio when it comes to this particular sector, chemical/fertilizers?
No other stock in this sector.
No other stock. All right. Ashu, what would you recommend to Bhavi? She doesn't mind holding Tata Chemicals for another year. She has no sort of exposure in chemicals and fertilizers. And currently, she's sitting on a loss.
See, in spite of current market situation, I would still say that Tata Chemical is one of the good stocks to hold for a medium to long term. I mean, they are in the right areas, the areas which have been focused by the government probably and budget also. So I think everything put together, I understand there has been a marginal decline recently because of the profit taking we have seen in the market. But still, if you look at it, has still outperformed. I mean, compared to many other mid caps, it has outperformed. So I would say definitely it will be under pressure. But I think we have to pass this time. Probably next 3 months could be bad for the market. But I still say that it better stock to hold. If she can average it out some more quantity at a lower level, if you find some panic dip again coming in the market. So all in all, I would say that one of the stocks, one of the rare stocks which one should hold for medium to long term, though I'm not bullish on the overall market currently, and I see we can see much lower levels to come. But since particularly we're talking about Tata Chemicals, so I would say that hold it for some time and don't panic in this this kind of a situation which has arisen recently because of the various factors. So I mean, I would recommend it to hold.
Okay, all right, Ashu. So that's a hold with a stop loss of 680. But the markets, we're seeing a bit of a recovery from the low point of the day. I think we'll go across to Prakash and get a quick technical check on the markets. What's the trade on the Nifty? Well, Prakash, we went down all the way to around 10,550 odd. We have bounced off a tad bit from there, 10,460 odd. Your take today, if what's the closing level you're looking at on the Nifty itself?
I think we have seen a low today, looks like. I wanted to buy today, but then I wasn't sure, that's why I didn't buy. But yes, looks like today's low is made. Maybe we'll see an up move. Target maybe on the upside could be around 10,500 possible. So there could be an up move. But let us face it, the market still is weak and looks weak.
Okay, all right. So you think that maybe we could get a bounce of around 30-40 points from here?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's possible.
And if you were going long, then where would your stop loss come in? That's going to be
Right
very
at the
important.
low, today's low.
So that's around 10,555.
Right at the bottom I wanted to buy.
Okay, all right then. So that's the view on the Nifty as we speak. We're holding on to the 10,450 odd mark. All through the trading session, we're holding on to 10,500. But in the last 1 hour, we've broken that mark as well. Prakash is expecting a bit of a bounce. Keep in mind, today's low should be a stop loss.
For example, Bank of Baroda is down around 4% as you can see, not in the Bank Nifty contribution chart, but separately. It is a part of the Bank Nifty, but it's not reflecting there at this point. But you can see that ICICI Bank, SBI, all of those stocks are currently in the red. PNB, which has now lost over 20% on a year-to-date, on a week-to-date basis, is seeing a cut of around 4% today as well. Some more news coming in from the Ministry of External Affairs, and maybe that flash should come back about up for you with regards to Nirav Modi. Suspends validity of Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi's passports for 4 weeks. So that's the update which is coming in from the Ministry of External Affairs at this point in time. But we have Pragati, who now writes to us from Aurangabad. She holds 300 shares of Tata Steel, which she's bought at 358, and she's sitting on a good profit there. A long-term investor and wants to know whether to hold or sell that particular stock. Well, Ashu, what would you recommend? That's actually a great investment right now that Pragati has made.
Yes, probably a very appropriate time the stock was bought. See, we have seen Tata Steel has given us very impressive growth in the last financial year in terms of demand, in terms of price, and in terms of profitability also. And I think I would suggest that this phenomena would continue. See, as it is, if we see metals, the way they have performed, it has been an under-owned segment. Since last couple of years or probably more than that, nobody was talking about metals. They were down and out. And I think an investor, somebody who bought it, probably took a contrarian call. I mean, if you look at the many portfolios of mutual funds also, and they are also under-owned in metals. So I would say that though in the current situation we are witnessing some kind of a profit taking, ideally it still looks good for an upside, and probably one can hold for long term. But we have seen that these kind of cyclicals at times suddenly, I mean, go topsy-turvy in cycles. So I would suggest that probably book partial profit and hold the balance, and keep some stop losses in mind, because when the cycle turns, you tend to go wrong. But as of now, I think it looks strong. I mean, profit booking in line with the normal market conditions, nothing more than that.
Okay, all right. Then Yes Bank is coming out with a clarification. They're saying they have no exposure whatsoever with regard to this specific fraud that we've been covering all through this week in the jewelry sector. So the stock is down 4.5% this week itself.
It just goes to show, Nigel, that maybe the kind of profit booking we're seeing is, the jewelry fraud is probably a reason for the kind of profit booking that we're seeing, because we're seeing that take place for Yes Bank as well, despite the clarification which has come out from them.
Absolutely. So they're just clarifying. They're saying, hey, we're not part of this entire saga that's playing out. Stock is stabilizing as we speak. But as Prakash told us earlier, well, the markets, they're seeing a bit of an intraday bounce as well. So we're defending the 10,450 odd mark. Let's see who's batting for the bulls. You have, you have Yes Bank that's recovering. Yes Bank's recovered actually 1% from the low point of the day. In fact, in the last few minutes, Ultratech Cement as well is moving higher, and Bharti Airtel as well is the other one. So we are holding on to the 10,400 mark. I think that's where the battle will be. To find green today, but take a look at PC Jewellers. Seeing a bit of a relief rally over there. That's up close to around 5% as we speak in an otherwise dull market. So PC Jeweller actually should come up for you on the screen. It's been all over the place really. Second week running, I think we're seeing very volatile moves with there. I remember intro week it fell even to 310 rupees, but that's spiking up and it's moving to the high point of the day. So it appears that around that 310, 350 levels odd, there are some buyers, and that stock is shooting up as we speak. But let's get to our next query. We have Kavita, who writes to us from New Delhi. She holds 2,500 shares of SBI at a price of around 249 rupees since the last 9 months. A medium-term investor wants to know whether or not to hold on or to sell. Ashu, your take on SBI if everything's going so wrong for PNB, and if you want to take exposure to PSU banks, would it be SBI? She's already making good money there, mind you. Hold on or book some profits?
I think lucky to be making money, but Nigel, my take always on PSU banks, whether it is FDI or bankruptcy law or recap or no recap, I think my view has been consistent that this is not the sector to be in. I mean, on the contrary, I've been always advising pair trade that whenever you go long, just go short on some PSU bank as a pair trade. So I think she's one of the lucky ones. I mean, there have been many. I think market PSU banks gives us trading bounces, and we have seen a lot of hope trades coming out of it. But net on net, I don't see. I mean, normally we should buy a stock for a long term where I hold and sit, relax. That I mean, I close my eyes and open up after 1 year. I should be making a beggar story kind of a situation. But PSU banks are never into that basket, and they will be never. I mean, you may say whatever. So I would say not that. I mean, I've been consistent in this view. Not that what has happened in the last 10 days or 15 days. I mean, consistently I've been of the view that PSU banks are always a short candidate and will continue to hold. Their problem is will continue to be deepened and widened, and something or the other will keep happening. So I think first available opportunity probably not at the lows of today, because we have seen last few days post result it has been continuously going down. But whenever there is a bounce or a short covering or a relief rally, I mean, my suggestion would be to book profit in SBI.
Okay, and Prakash, yours? SBI?
Well, SBI, I think you book profit, simple. I don't like the stock. Basically, it could slide down. Who knows what scams will come out from the SBI basket as well. The PSU banks are not enough.
Okay. All right. We need to take a break now with the news that the Nifty is at 34,100. More queries once we're back. Stay tuned.